Hi everybody, this is the Golden Era Bookworm, and after many requests, especially from the comments that I've received from my recent videos on Arnold's Mr. Universe 1966 programs, I decided to make a video on the actual split routine he used in preparation for the competition. One of the first things I would like to address is the frequency and volume that he actually used. Now, for many of you, I got a lot of questions, many of you asking how often did he train his body parts? Well, you understand firstly the difference between off-season and preparing for competition. Arnold has mentioned in his books and in other articles that he used to train each body part twice a week, like many of the other old school bodybuilders used to do, twice a week during the off season, and this was basically for maximum growth, whereas he would train 3 times a week before competition, as this would accelerate fat burning and basically get him ripped. And so basically the frequency and volume would be tailored and would be different for the purpose that it was being used for, and I'll explain this a little bit more now. Off season, so here's Arnold with a massive picture of protein drink bulking up, and that's the difference. Here during the off season, Arnold would bulk up and use a lower rep range, less volume and less frequency. This would allow him to use heavier weights, and therefore this 2 times a week per body part actually would allow him to increase his recovery, because he would only train the body part twice a week. He wouldn't be so maxed out. Increased recovery therefore means increased maximum growth, which is important in the off season for bulking up. And of course, a diet of high protein, moderate carbs and fat was used. However, if we look at Arnold's routine for competing, which will follow this slide, you'll see that there is an increased frequency, an increase in volume, and a decreased rest time between sets. Moderate weights were actually used as opposed to maximum weights, and for this reason he was actually able to increase the frequency. If you're using maximum weight and increasing your volume, you're going to max out, you're going to overtrain, you're going to get sick and get tired and not recover. But if only moderate weights are used, one can increase the volume and the frequency without necessarily affecting the recovery. And in this way, the training becomes more like cardio, and it is used to burn fat, muscularize the body, and increase blood flow into the muscles. And basically, as you're burning the fat and increasing the blood flow, this increases the capillaries and gives you a more vascular look, that ripped look. Understand that this increase in frequency and volume meant training training each body part 3 times per week. And the diet would be very high in protein, moderate fat, and very, very low carbs. Now, a lot of people say and comment, this is impossible, how could they do this, la-di-da-di-da. Well, understand that back then these bodybuilders did not use cardio. There were no treadmills, there were no exercise bikes, there was none of this stuff, no cardio. At most they would run on the beach. There were also a lot less drugs like diuretics and fat burners and things that are available nowadays. These supplements or drug enhancements did not exist back then. They basically relied on heavy ass training to burn the fat and muscularize the body. Remember, these drugs did not exist like they do nowadays, and so nowadays people can get away with less volume, less frequency. Back then these drugs did not exist, and so they literally had to just burn it off by training frequently. And so what was young Arnold's split routine in preparation for the Mr. Universe in 1966? On Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, he He would train arms, delts, and legs. I'm going to add a link to that right now. You've seen the videos. If you haven't, just check the link out. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, he would train his chest and back. Again, I've gone through the arms routine, I've gone through the delts and legs routine, and the chest and back routine. As you see, each body part is trained 3 times a week in preparation for the Mr. Universe. That is, to get cut and to get ripped. On Sundays, he would rest. The source of this article, of this information, is from an article from Kraftsport Review, a German magazine from 1967. I've translated it from the German language for you, so I hope you've enjoyed this series of Arnold's program for the 1966 Mr. Universe. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me your comments, subscribe if you haven't. This is the Golden Era Bookworm, and bye for now.